You're wasting your energy chasing her, trying to prove your worth, when the real power move is silence. Every day she goes without you, without your presence, your attention, your validation. It digs a little deeper under her skin. The comfort she once felt starts to crack, replaced by an emptiness she can't quite explain. See, time doesn't just pass. It exposes. It reveals everything she tried to ignore when she walked away. And the longer you stay quiet, the more that silence turns into a mirror, forcing her to see the truth. You weren't just an option, you were the prize. In today's video, I'm going to break down exactly how time breaks her, piece by piece. When you choose silence over begging, self-respect over desperation, and inner presence over outward insecurity. This isn't about revenge, it's about embodying the kind of strength that makes her question everything. Not because you played a game, but because you became the man she was never prepared to lose. Let's dive in. Number 1. Time, your silent ally. When you step back, you don't need to argue, explain, or justify. You let time do what it does best, create space. And space is powerful, because in that silence, her mind starts working overtime. At first, maybe she felt a sense of relief. Maybe she tells herself this is what she wanted. But as the days stretch into weeks, something shifts. That silence, the same silence you created by choosing to step back, becomes louder than any words you could have spoken. She starts to wonder why you're not chasing, why you're not explaining yourself, why you're not trying to win her back. That silence forces her to face something uncomfortable, the reality of your absence. A Stoic man knows this well. What's outside your control is none of your concern. You don't control how she feels, you don't control her thoughts, and you definitely don't control whether she realizes what she lost. That's her path to walk, not yours. What you do control, and what a Stoic always returns to, is your own response. Your actions, your mindset, your growth. That's your domain. Everything else? Let it go. But here's the part most men miss. Time isn't your enemy in situations like this. It's your greatest ally. Time does the heavy lifting for you. Time reminds her who you are when you're no longer around to show her. Time lets her see what life feels like without your presence, your strength, your stability. And it's in that absence that her mind starts to fill in the gaps. She remembers the way you made her feel safe, the way your calmness anchored her chaos, the way your presence felt like home. Let time break her. Not out of revenge, not out of bitterness, but because reality always catches up. When a man who brought value into her life suddenly steps back, the emptiness he leaves behind isn't easily filled. She may try, with distractions, with attention from others, with temporary thrills. But eventually, those things lose their shine. And when they do, the silence you left becomes unbearable. This is where Stoicism becomes your guide. You don't react. You don't chase. You don't crumble under the weight of her silence, because you understand that her silence is her own battle. Your work is different. Your work is mastering yourself, building your mind, strengthening your spirit, staying grounded no matter what storm passes through your life. Let time break her while you build you. Because the truth is, when a man walks away with dignity, with discipline, with quiet strength, that's the man she never forgets. Number 2, emptiness grows louder. In the beginning, she might feel strong. She might even feel relieved, like a weight has been lifted. She might tell herself this is what she wanted: freedom, space, a break from the version of you she thought she knew. But that silence you left behind, it grows, it spreads, It starts as just a quiet space, something she barely notices at first, like walking into a room after someone's left. But over time, that silence changes. It stops feeling peaceful and starts feeling empty. That space where your presence used to be, your voice, your energy, your stability, starts to feel like a void she can't fill. This is why time is your greatest ally. Because a man who's mastered his emotions, a man grounded in his own worth, can sit in that silence with ease. You don't need attention to validate who you are. You don't need constant reassurance to feel secure. That's the power of self-mastery. Your sense of self doesn't depend on her presence, her words, or her approval. But her? That silence works differently on her, because she was used to you being there. Even if she pushed you away, even if she thought she wanted space, she was still used to the comfort of knowing you were within reach. Now, with you gone, that silence starts to echo. Every quiet moment becomes a reminder. When her phone doesn't light up, when there's no message from you checking in, when there's no steady presence grounding her day, that silence reminds her that you're no longer there. And the longer that silence lasts, the louder it gets. It forces her to sit with her own thoughts, her own doubts, her own regrets. A Stoic man doesn't fear silence. He embraces it. Because silence isn't emptiness. It's space to reflect, to grow, to sharpen your mind and strengthen your resolve. While she's filling the void with distractions, you're using it to build. You understand that silence is where true strength is forged, where clarity emerges, where you learn to rely only on yourself. As we delve deeper into the powerful effects of silence and self-mastery, remember that your journey through Stoicism isn't just about observing. It's about engaging and evolving. If this message resonates with you, or if you have insights and experiences of your own to share, I encourage you to like this video, leave a comment below, or simply type "Silence Strengthens" to show your connection to this profound strategy. Your engagement not only helps spread these timeless principles, but also enriches our discussion, allowing us all to learn and grow together in our pursuit of emotional independence and strength. Number 3. The mirror of absence. Here's the truth. When you disappear, you leave her with the only thing she can't escape: herself. At first, it might feel like freedom to her. No more tension, no more wondering what you're thinking, no more conversations that made her uncomfortable. But that feeling doesn't last, because with no one to project her feelings onto, with no one to blame, no one to argue with, she's left sitting in silence, staring at her own reflection. And that reflection can be brutal. The fights, the coldness, the way she distanced herself, all the things she justified in the heat of the moment, they start to look different when there's no one there to react to them. Without you there to absorb her frustrations, to respond to her emotions, to play your part in the story she told herself, she has to face the truth. Maybe you weren't perfect, but maybe, just maybe, she wasn't either. That's the power of your silence. It's not just an absence, it's a mirror. Every day you stay quiet, every day you stay focused on yourself, that mirror gets clearer. And eventually, she sees it. Not the version of you she built in her mind when she was angry or hurt, but the man you actually were. The man who showed up. The man who cared. The man who, despite everything, chose to walk away with dignity instead of begging for scraps of attention. A Stoic man doesn't need to prove his worth. He doesn't chase validation, doesn't perform to be seen. He knows his value comes from how he lives, how he carries himself, how he handles loss and rejection with calmness and control. Your silence becomes a testament to your self-respect. Your absence becomes the mirror that shows her exactly what she lost. A man who was steady, grounded, and rare in a world full of noise. Let her sit with herself. Let time and silence do what they do best. Because when a man with self-respect removes himself, the void he leaves behind can teach her lessons no words ever could. And whether she admits it to you or not, she'll feel it. The weight of your absence, the clarity it brings, and the truth that some men can't be replaced. Number 4, the weight of what was. Memories don't hit all at once. They sneak in slowly, unexpectedly. It might start with a song playing in a cafe, one she forgot was tied to you until the first note hits. Or a scent, your cologne still lingering faintly on a jacket she hasn't worn since you left. Even the places you used to go together, the ones that felt so ordinary at the time, suddenly feel different when she's standing there alone. That's how memories work. They're quiet at first, just whispers in the background. But the longer you're gone, the louder they become. Every reminder pulls her back, not just to you, but to the version of herself that existed when she was with you. And in that reflection, she starts to feel the difference between then and now. A man rooted in Stoicism understands that memories are part of life, but they don't define you. You don't cling to the past or try to rewrite it. You don't torment yourself with what-ifs. You accept what was, you learn from it, and you keep moving forward with purpose and clarity. You know that no memory, no matter how sweet, is worth sacrificing your peace. But for her, it's different. Memories aren't just thoughts, they become weights. They carry the emotions she once tried to suppress, the moments she took for granted, the little things she never thought she'd miss until they were gone. And the more time passes, the more valuable what you gave her starts to feel. Your presence, your steadiness, the way you handled life, all of it starts to shine in comparison to what she's left with now. That's the beauty of stepping back with grace. You don't have to prove your worth. Time and memories do it for you. And while you're out there growing, becoming even stronger, more grounded, more in tune with yourself, she's left facing the truth that real connection doesn't fade with silence. It grows heavier. Let her feel it. Let those memories catch up with her, one by one. Because a man who leaves with quiet strength isn't forgotten. He's remembered in every silent moment, every familiar place, every unexpected memory that reminds her exactly what she lost. As we explore the lingering impact of memories and the silent power they wield, it's crucial to reflect on how these experiences shape us. If this segment has sparked a thought, a memory, or a realization in you, I invite you to share your insights in the comments below. How have memories affected your journey? Your reflections not only deepen your own understanding, but also help others see the value in viewing memories through a Stoic lens. Engage with us, share your thoughts, and let's discover together how silence and reflection can transform our lives. Number 5. Curiosity becomes restlessness. The less she knows, the more her mind works against her. What's he doing? Is he thinking about me? Has he already moved on? Those questions don't hit all at once. They creep in when the noise around her dies down, late at night, during quiet moments when no one's there to distract her. The absence you created, the silence you left behind, becomes a blank space her mind can't resist filling. And the truth is, the less information she has, the more her imagination takes control. A Stoic man understands this. There's power in silence, mystery in absence. You don't owe her explanations. You don't need to perform for an audience that no longer appreciates your presence. You're not playing games. You're simply living your life without the need for validation. That silence isn't a tactic. It's a reflection of your self-respect. But for her, it's different. That silence becomes noise. Every time she reaches for her phone and there's nothing from you, her mind starts spinning. Is he missing me? Is he out with someone new? Why isn't he trying to fix this? You become the question she can't answer, and the harder she tries to figure you out, the more mysterious you become. And in a world addicted to updates, where everyone overshares every thought and every feeling, you become something rare. The man she can't check up on, the one who slipped out of her grasp. There's no closure, no final conversation to wrap things up in a neat little bow. Just silence. And that silence is louder than any words you could have said. This is the strength of a man rooted in Stoicism. You understand that your value doesn't come from proving anything to her. Your value is in how you carry yourself, in the calm, in the quiet, in the way you disappear with grace and self-assurance. Let her wonder. Let her sit in the uncertainty. Because a man who's at peace with himself never needs to explain his absence. It explains itself. Number 6. Her illusion of control shatters. At first, she thought she had control. She thought you'd wait around, checking your phone, hoping for breadcrumbs. She believed you'd break under the weight of her silence, that your patience would collapse into desperate attempts to win her back. That's the story so many women tell themselves, that they hold all the cards, that your emotions revolve around their attention. But when you disappear, truly disappear, and you stay gone without explanation, without trying to prove anything, reality hits in a way she never expected. That control she thought she had, it starts to slip. And with every day you remain silent, that illusion of power crumbles a little more. A Stoic man isn't anyone's emotional puppet. You don't dance for attention. You don't chase for validation. You are your own anchor, steady in the storm, rooted in your own sense of worth. You know that your value doesn't come from someone else's approval. It comes from the way you show up for yourself, with discipline, purpose, and quiet confidence. And when she realizes she has no influence over you anymore, when she sees that her silence doesn't break you, that her absence doesn't shake you, that's when the pain sets in. Because control wasn't just about power, it was about comfort. Knowing you were still there, still affected, still waiting, that gave her a sense of security. But now, that security is gone. You've become the man she can't read, the one she can't predict, the one she no longer controls. And that hurts more than any argument, more than any harsh word. Because there's nothing more unsettling than realizing someone who once cared no longer reacts. That's the strength of a man who lives by Stoic principles. You don't need revenge. You don't need to prove your strength. Your silence speaks for you. Your detachment isn't coldness, it's clarity. You are no longer tied to her approval. And in that freedom, you become the one thing she never expected, the man who got away and never looked back. So, how has stepping back changed your interactions? How have Stoic principles supported your journey toward self-reliance? I encourage you to share your thoughts in the comments, engage with this discussion, or simply type "freedom in silence" if this message speaks to you. Let's explore together the profound impact that true emotional freedom can have on our lives. Number 7. The world moves without her. She thought you'd pause, that you'd sit there replaying every moment, questioning every word, stuck in that endless loop of wondering what went wrong. She believed you'd freeze in place, orbiting her memory, waiting for a sign that it was safe to come closer again. That's the story she told herself, that her absence would paralyze you. But a Stoic man flows with life itself. You don't resist change, you embrace it. You evolve, you grow, you adapt. Not out of spite, not to send some hidden message, but because that's simply who you are. Life moves forward, and so do you. You understand that the only time worth living in is the present, and you refuse to chain yourself to a past that no longer serves you. You don't sit there refreshing old conversations in your mind, trying to rewrite history. You take the lessons, you own your part, and you walk on, head high, heart steady. Your growth isn't performative. It's not designed to get her attention. It's simply the natural byproduct of a man who values himself too much to stagnate. And when, not if, but when, she finally looks back, expecting to find you where she left you, all she sees is your back. But you're not waiting. You're not even standing still. You're further ahead than she ever expected, moving with purpose, with calm, with the quiet confidence of a man who doesn't need to be seen to know his worth. That's the essence of Stoic strength. Your value isn't proven by being chosen. It's revealed by how you carry yourself when you're not. Let her watch. Let her wonder. Let her realize too late that the man she left behind is now the man she can't reach. And there's nothing more powerful than being the man who outgrew her absence. Not to win her back, but because you never needed her to begin with. Number 8. Her ego battles her heart. Her pride keeps her strong at first. She tells herself she's fine, maybe even better off without you. In her mind, walking away was power. She reassures herself that you'll be the one who regrets it, the one who struggles in the silence, the one who eventually comes crawling back to fix what she broke. But pride has limits, and time erodes all defenses. That initial strength she felt, that confidence in her decision, starts to crack under the weight of your silence. Days pass, then weeks. And with every stretch of time where you remain quiet, calm, and unshaken, her pride becomes a prison, trapping her with her own unresolved emotions. A Stoic man doesn't care who wins the battle between her heart and her ego. That's her war to fight, not yours. Whether her heart finally breaks open and feels the weight of losing you, or her pride stands tall and stubborn, refusing to bend, none of that concerns you. Her internal struggle isn't your responsibility, and it never was. You don't punish her with silence, you protect yourself with it. This isn't a game. This isn't about teaching her a lesson or making her miss you. It's about maintaining your peace, your dignity, and your focus on the only thing you truly control, yourself. Your silence is the shield that keeps your energy intact, the space where your self-respect lives. Whether her heart softens or her pride stands firm, you remain unmoved. That's the strength of a Stoic man. You don't need an outcome to validate you. You don't chase closure. You don't lose sleep over her feelings. You simply walk forward, calmly, with your head high and your spirit intact. Because in the end, the man who can master himself, his emotions, his need for control, his hunger for answers, is the man who wins. Not because he beat her, but because he never needed to. Now, I invite you to share your insights or thoughts in the comments below. Whether your journey has led you to greater independence or challenged your perceptions, your experiences are valuable. Let's discuss the strength that comes from focusing inward and maintaining one's peace amidst the storms of interpersonal dynamics. Number 9. The unstoppable force of regret. As time passes, even her strongest reasons for leaving start to crumble. At first, she stood firm. She had her list of justifications, her reasons why walking away made sense. Maybe she told herself you weren't right for her, or that she needed space to find herself. In those early days, her mind clung tightly to those explanations. They made her feel in control, confident, even proud of her decision. But time has a way of softening even the sharpest convictions. The longer you stay silent, the more her mind starts to rewrite the story. The flaws she once fixated on start to blur, and instead, the good rises to the surface. The comfort you brought, the stability, the way you made her feel seen in a way no one else has. This is where a Stoic man understands a deeper truth. Perception is everything. And when you disappear with quiet strength, without bitterness, without trying to rewrite history or force your version of events, her mind does the work for you. You don't need to argue your worth. You don't need to plead your case. Time, patient, relentless time, becomes your greatest ally. Because as days turn to weeks and weeks into months, she's left with one thing she can't ignore: the silence where you used to be. And in that silence, the story shifts. You're no longer the man she convinced herself was easy to leave. You become the man she wasn't ready to lose. Regret is the heaviest weight a person can carry. It lingers in the quiet moments, in the memories that refuse to fade, in the realization that you were the rare kind of man who didn't beg, didn't break, didn't lose himself trying to hold on to someone who let go. You walked away with grace. And that grace? That's what haunts her the most. A Stoic man doesn't need to chase closure or force anyone to see his value. You trust that your absence, combined with your quiet self-respect, speaks louder than anything you could ever say. Let time do what it does best. Let her rewrite the story in her own mind. And if regret finds her, that's between her and her reflection, not you. Number 10. Absence reshapes desire. Desire doesn't grow when you're always available. It doesn't thrive when you're constantly proving, explaining, or reminding her of your worth. Desire is born in absence, in the empty space where you used to be. It grows when you're rare, unreachable, almost mythical. A Stoic man doesn't chase. He doesn't beg to be seen or fight to be valued. He understands that true value isn't declared. It's felt in his absence. When a man lives with purpose, grounded in who he is, his attention becomes scarce. His presence becomes a privilege, not a guarantee. And when something is scarce, it becomes valuable. When you were always there, replying instantly, showing up without question, making yourself an open book, she could afford indifference. Your presence was expected. Your availability was taken for granted. There was no mystery, no space for longing, no room for her imagination to work. But now that you're gone, all that changes. Suddenly, she's forced to want what she can't have. Her mind starts filling in the blanks: where you are, who you're with, why you're so at peace without her. That uncertainty creates tension, and tension creates desire. Not because you played games, but because you had the strength to pull away and live fully on your own terms. This is where Stoicism separates you from the crowd. You don't withdraw to punish her. You withdraw to honor yourself. Your value comes from your discipline, the discipline to detach when necessary, to focus on your growth, and to refuse to be a man whose worth depends on someone else's attention. Let her feel the void. Let her wonder. Let her experience what life feels like without you offering yourself so freely. Because a man who can walk away, who can disappear into his own life without bitterness, is the man who becomes unforgettable, not for what he gave, but for what he took with him when he left. Number 11. The Stoic victory. Unmoved, unbothered. The ultimate power isn't making her miss you. It's realizing you never needed her in the first place. That's the shift most men never make. They spend so much time trying to spark her regret, trying to become the absence she can't escape, that they forget the real work. Becoming the man who no longer cares whether she remembers or forgets at all. Because the truth is, her reaction, her regrets, her path after you, none of that ever belonged to you. Whether she breaks under the weight of silence or moves on without a second thought. Whether her pride keeps her cold or her heart finally softens. That's her journey, not yours. You were never meant to carry the burden of her emotions. That was always hers to manage, just as your growth, your strength, your peace. Those are yours to protect. Your path is clear, to become the kind of man who stands firm, rooted so deeply in his own value that no one's presence inflates you, and no one's absence shakes you. That's the core of true strength. When your worth isn't dependent on her attention or her affection, you become untouchable. You become a man who walks away with grace, not to prove anything, but because your peace is too valuable to bargain with. This is Stoicism at its core. You control yourself, not the outcome. You don't control whether she comes back, whether she misses you, or whether she realizes what she lost. You control how you respond, how you grow, how you stay grounded in your principles no matter what life throws at you. And when you master that, when you truly understand that your worth was never tied to her, her choices, or her feelings, you unlock a freedom most men never experience. You no longer need her to break for you to feel strong. You no longer need her regret to validate your value. Because no matter how much time breaks her, you remain whole. As we wrap up today's exploration of silence and Stoicism, remember this: the power of your absence is not in the noise it creates, but in the quiet strength it represents. She thought walking away was easy, that the silence would be hers to control. But as each day passes, the echo of what was, and what could have been, grows louder in her life. Not because you demanded attention, but because you chose dignity over desperation. If this message resonated with you, or if you've seen the power of patience and self-respect play out in your own life, hit that like button to support the channel. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences, so please leave a comment below. How have you used silence as a strength? What did it teach you about yourself and others? Don't forget to subscribe for more insights on how Stoic principles can guide us through the complexities of personal relationships. And check out the recommended videos on your screen for more strategies on embracing solitude and turning time into your ally. Remember, letting time work for you isn't about passivity. It's about recognizing that true strength comes from within, not from external validations. Let time break her, and let your silence speak volumes.